Some days worry, some days glad, some days more than make you mad. Some days more than shine. When you see what's coming on down the line. Some days you say, not me, never. Some days you say, bless God forever. Some days you say, curse God and die. And the day comes when you wrestle with that line. Some days tussle, and some days groan, and some days don't even leave a bone. Some days you hassle all alone. I don't know, sister, what I'm saying, nor do no man if he don't be praying. I know that love is the only answer, and the tightrope lover the only dancer. When the lover comes off the rope today, the net which holds him is how we pray, and not to gods unknown, but to each other. The falling mortal is our brother. Some days leave, some days grieve, some days you almost don't believe. Some days believe you, some days don't. Some days believe you, and you won't. Some days worry, some days mad, some days more than make you glad. Some days more than shine. Witnesses coming on down the line. Witnesses coming on down the line.
We are all circling round the same sun. We are all here to play our part. We are all breathing in the same air. We are all walking works of art. We are all filled with our own blessings. We are all living with our pain. We are all keeping it together. We are all trying to stay sane. We are all responsible for each other. Responsible responsible for each other.
We are all searching for our wholeness. We are all feeling incomplete. We are all yearning for a good life. We are all living with defeat. We are all responsible for each other.
We are all responsible for each other.
Responsible for each other.
Responsible for each other.
Responsible for each other.
We are brothers and sisters, no matter what we see. On the outside we look different but the same, you and me. Missing the big picture that we're sharing time and space. If we're disconnected, then connect to the human race. We are all given the gift we call life. We are all free to decide. We are all each other's neighbors. We are all sharing the same ride. We are all circling around the same sun. We are all here to play our part. We are all breathing in the same air. We are all walking works of art. We are all responsible for each other. We are all responsible for each other.
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 Zamru Adonai Bechinor Bechinor Vekol Zimra Zamru Adonai Bechinor Bechinor Vekol Zimra Let the strings fill our spirits. Let the trumpets blare about. Let us all come together, rise up and shout. Zamru Adonai Bechinor Bechinor Vekol Zimra Zamru Adonai Bechinor Bechinor Vekol Zimra. Let the oceans roar with thunder. Let the rivers clap their hands. Let the mountains sing your praises throughout the land. Zamru Adonai Bechinor Bechinor Vekol Zimra.
There comes a time in every fight when it's been going on so long that the reasons it all began are far away and ancient news. When the only answer left is, that's the way it's always been. The way it's always been is broken. It's time to open up our view.
Let me hear my voice like I've never heard before. Let me see through eyes like I've just been born. Open up my heart, open up my soul to listen, to care, find goodness everywhere. Open up my heart, open up my soul to listen, to care, find goodness
There comes a time in every age when there's no choice but to change, when we evolve and learn and grow and clearly see what has to be. And right now the only answer is, we are all made in God's image, worthy of human dignity. We're only free when we're all free.
Let me hear my voice like I've never heard before. Let me see through eyes like I've just been born. Open up my heart, open up my soul to listen, to care, find goodness everywhere. Open up my heart, open up my soul to listen, to care, find goodness
Set my heart free, set my mind free, set my soul free, set me free. Set my heart free, set my mind free, set my soul free, set me free. Set my heart free, set my mind free, set my soul free, set me free. Set my heart free. Set my mind free, set my soul free, set me free. Set my
We
heart free,
are only free when we are all free to be. We are only free when we are all free to be. We are only free when we are all free to be. We are only free when we are all free to be. We are only free when we are all free to be. We are only free when we are all free to be.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Cantor.
Happy Thanksgiving,
I don't even know
Rabbi.
if I said that when we came in today. Happy Thanksgiving.
We were just moving right along. No.
So I'd like to welcome everyone here. Hopefully you had a filling Thanksgiving. It Probably wasn't as you thought it was going to be, but maybe it was. But how good it is for all of us to be together on this Shabbat. So let's get some singing going and say just that.
Hine matov u'manayim sheberachim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim sheberachim gam yachad.
Hine matov again.
Hine matov u'manayim sheberachim gam yachad.
Hine matov u'manayim sheberachim gam yachad.
How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is to be together on this day.
How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine matov u'manayim sheberachim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim sheberachim gam yachad. Shalom aleichem, shalom aleichem, shalom aleichem, shalom aleikum. Shalom aleichem, shalom aleikum, shalom aleichem, shalom aleikum.
Hine matov
u'manayim sheberachim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim sheberachim gam yachad. So we've come together with some singing, and now it's time for us to bring the light of Shabbat into the room and into your homes. Let's go to the Turk hats, and they can help us light the candles tonight.
Shabbat Shalom from the Turk Hat House. We are so honored to be lighting candles for you on this Thanksgiving weekend Shabbat, a weekend that is all about friends and family. And in honor of our synagogue, Temple Emmanuel family, we are using the candlesticks that Philip made on the last family retreat we were able to attend. And we are hoping that this will be over soon and that we can all come together on another family retreat and make many, many more happy memories. Shabbat Shalom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvosov v'tzivanu lahadlek ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you so much for that. It is impossible to say that any 2 days are the same. Every day is unique. Every day places an imprint on the world, and this Shabbat is no different. Because this Shabbat arrived after 6 distinctive days, which came before. Beginning last Saturday as the stars appeared, and ending as the stars appeared on this 6th day. So now we rest from those 6, and we celebrate the victories. We curse the disasters. We nurse and muse about lessons learned, and we nurse the wounds. And we move through the peace of Shabbat. So we take this time to reflect about how this exact moment is like no other that has come before. For in our minds and our souls, this past week exists, but it leaves us to think on it and to feel on it and to rest on it for this Shabbat. Chazarat HaShavua, a review of the week. Let's get ourselves still ready for Shabbat. Bring ourselves in with Lecha Dodi, then we'll move our way through the Shema and her blessings. But now, let's just pretend we've gone out into the field right before Shabbat. The sun is setting and we're wearing white and dancing and singing. That's the way Lecha Dodi should be. Just pretend you're out there with the air all around you. Here we go.
Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 Pnei Shabbat nekavela Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 Pnei Shabbat nekavela Shamor vezachor v'dibor echad Hishmi'anu el ha'meyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad V'shemu tiferet v'litila Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 Pnei Shabbat nekavela Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 Pnei Shabbat nekavela Hitoreri, hitoreri Ki va'orech kumi uri Uri, uri, shir daveri Kvod Adonai alayich nigla Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 Pnei Shabbat nekavela Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 Pnei Shabbat nekavela
Please rise and welcome the door as we welcome the Sabbath bride.
Ohi v'shalom ateret bala Gam besimcha u'sola Toch ebunei am segula yalalai, yalalai, b'nei Shabbat. Nekavela lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat. Nekavela. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch
Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
We turn to the Shema. Welcome the Sabbath bride. Welcome each other to pray. And then we say the one thing that unites us. There is an energy of oneness. And we make ourselves a part of it as we sing Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai
Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Baruch Hashem, Tevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
As we move forward, we move from that oneness to that which united us as a people. It's that moment where we left Egypt, a moment where the Israelites are standing in front of the Sea of Reeds. The Egyptians are behind them. There's a sea in front. There's a pillar of fire and smoke behind them, keeping them from the Egyptians. And it's at that moment that they realized that they truly needed to be free and had to take that first step towards freedom. And so they head into the sea as it opens. They get to the other side. It closes in on the Egyptians. And they cheer because they're free. Incidentally, the angels that are on high were cheering as well. And God looked at them and said, "Why are you celebrating? My children are dying." So even in that moment when the Israelites became free, they realized that they became free at the cost of another. So we look at our freedom and we say, yeah, we've achieved it, but at what cost? We sing Micha Mocha to talk about those miracles.
Micha Mocha נהדר בקודש. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש.
We get ready for sleep, even if we're not going to sleep. And we ask for there to be a shelter of peace to come over us tonight in the midst of this darkness. That it spreads over us when we go out and when we come in always keeps us safe. Ufros aleinu, sukat shlomecha.
ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך,
Ufros aleinu,
ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך.
we turn now to those personal prayers. Before we enter into the Amidah, we'll start with our own prayers, and then we'll go into our communal personal prayers. So as we come to Misha Beirach, there's a lot of people that are sick right now, and our hearts go out to all of them. And I'm sure that each of us have friends, family that are also sick, whether it's with COVID-19 or some other illness. And so we ask for rejuvenation. We ask for those words on there, courage and strength and calm and rest for all of those that are in need. And between the first and second verse, we'll read off names of those people that you've put in there that you want out in the ether so that we can pray for all of those names that are called. So we'll sing the first part, the cantor will call out the names, and we'll come back and we'll pray for their healing.
מקור הברכה
Brad Kestner, Norma Glickman, Dorothy Salkin, Pearl Councilbaum, Melinda Keenan, Jessica, Cantor Jessica, and Emmett Hutchings. The family of Jeffrey Scott, Harold Gerrider, Helene and Andy Hale, Lois Lebman, Rita Newman and baby Raquel, Panina Landau, Jeffrey Kaufman, Lindsay Kaufman, Helene and Andy Hale, Mark Cutter, Julie Cohen DeHaven, Raquel, Mark, and Jonah Small, Yisrael Abraham Ben Chai Rachel, Sorel Fortman Soral, Tracy Saperstein and family, Claire, Molly Gross, Sidel and Michael Green, Rose Friedman, Werner McCarty, Arlene Jacobius, Lulu Marjorie Salvatera, Bobby Herman, God, Tali, Raphael, Anna, Carolina, Lillian, Rebecca, Marlene, Karen Katz, David Montrose, John, Steffi M. Gilbert, Barry Muroff, B. Muroff, Paula Gelber Dromi, Claudette Henry, Barry Muroff, Lynn Sine, Rabbi Shai Held, Hanalea Bat Chaya Sura Bat Rachalea, Mordechai Ben David Miriam, Tricia Smith, Dennis Lavender, Marilyn Connell and Sandy Fleming, Harav Yisrael Gadal Ben Batya, Susie Gordon, Marty Cruz, Goldwasser Graydon family, Barbara Pergament, Lee Lawson, Alan Davidson, Bernice, Noreen, Catherine Baima. All people without a roof tonight. Pete Wilgerin. Elizabeth Goldman.
Now for the Amidah. And we say this first prayer together, which asks for our minds and our mouths to be opened up with the prayers that are in our hearts. Please continue with your own prayers. And when you feel like you're done, you may be seated.
On this Shabbat that follows Thanksgiving, we really focus on our prayer of gratitude, a prayer that can be found every Shabbat, Modim Anachnu Lach. Let's start that one more time. It wasn't in my monitor. Modim anachnu lach she'atahu Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu leolam va'ed. Modim anachnu lach sur chayenu magen yishenu atahu ledor vador. Modim anachnu lach leolam va'ed. For the sun that rises in the east, for the seas that roar a prayer, for the stillness of a snowfall, for the breath of autumn air, for the grass within my fingers, for a mind that makes me whole, for the voice that God has given me to speak the truth within my soul. Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach leolam va'ed. Ve'al 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 yisecha shebechol yom imanu, shebechol yom imanu. Ve'al 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 niflecha ve'tovotecha erev v'boker ve'tzoraim. For the laughter of the children, for the way they greet the day With their endless stream of questions, they remind us how to play. And for the ones we call beloved, who take away our fear, they tell us without saying it, remember I am here, remember I am here. Motim אנחנו לך, motim אנחנו לך, motim אנחנו לך, לעולם ועד. צור חיינו, מגן אישנו, אתה הוא לדור ודור. מודים אנחנו לך, לעולם ועד. מודים, מודים.
I'll just keep that slide up there for one more second if you could. See what that says right there? It says virtual simply Shabbat. First of all, thank you so much for that beautiful song, Cantor. But I've noticed that we throw that word out a lot nowadays. Okay, we can take that down now. That word virtual is everywhere. We call this a virtual Shabbat service. And we had a virtual Seder, and we had a virtual congregational meeting, virtual B'nai Mitzvah, virtual weddings, virtual baby namings. I get it. Not everyone is in the room. There are people watching rituals and meetings on Zoom and on Facebook Live and on YouTube, just like tonight, just like you're doing right this very second. In some ways, that word, virtual, gives off the feeling that it's actually not happening. It's happening in the virtual world, but not in the real world where we see and feel and hear everything. As we've continued along this road for the last, if you can believe it, 8 months, it's easy to say, oh, we didn't have that this year. We didn't have Thanksgiving. Well, we didn't have it the way we wanted. We haven't gathered together for services. That is true. We don't socialize like we used to. We don't do anything the way we used to. It's all virtual. It's not happening. I'm here to say, virtual is real. What you feel when you sing the prayers, what you feel when there's this long list read for Misha Berach, that's real. When someone gets married and you're watching on Zoom or on the computer on some app, they are really getting married. A child really is named. A family really kavels when their son or daughter becomes bar or bat mitzvah. Those experiences are real, and the divine is found in them. Tonight, we read one of the great Torah portions. I swear to God, I say that every week. We read one of the great stories when Jacob leaves his home and he sits down in some spot and he goes to sleep and he dreams of the ladders going up and down and angels going up and down the ladders. And God promises to be with Jacob as he goes forth on his adventure across the desert. All of this happens, by the way, while he's not awake, while he's dreaming. And then he wakes up and he looks around and he says, God was in this place and I didn't know it. Don't think God isn't here because it's virtual. Don't imagine that what we do together isn't real because it's virtual. It's all real. This is our life right now. And God is in this place as much as God is anywhere. Now, there are many interpretations of this line that talks about what Jacob was going through at that moment. And one of the commentaries seizes upon this idea that he says I twice. He says an I, anochi lo yadati. I didn't know. And the question is, why does he say I twice? And one of the interpretations that I've heard over the years was that the only way that Jacob understood himself and understood that moment is when he let go of the I a little bit. When he wasn't just thinking of the I didn't know what was happening. And I think we all tend at this moment, when things are virtual, when we're looking at screens, when we're alone in our homes, to just think about our own lives, just think about where we are. And in order to truly find divinity, we have to be empathic. We have to think of others. We have to put ourselves out there so that we can feel a little bit more what it is like to be in the world caring for others, because it's so easy to get very self-involved at this moment. So that's the first lesson. The second is that Jacob finally realized that he actually was unaware of his surroundings. He wasn't paying attention. He wasn't thinking clearly. And it's only when he was able to realize that he was actually on holy ground and that fact had eluded him that he was able to properly understand. As Panim Yafot wrote, quote, "When can we experience God's nearness? Only when we are suffused by lo yadati, I didn't know. When we ourselves know that we do not know and do not pretend to have wisdom and insight." By adding the word virtual to everything, we thought we understood that this was all almost real, that there was something missing, that coming together in person, and that somehow it made our gatherings like this unreal or virtual. Let's say we didn't know what this would be like. We didn't know what it would feel like, but now we have felt it. And we do connect. It's just in a different way. And our connection to the divine is still here. We just have to look for it a little bit differently. Yesterday at my house, I had 2 Zoom calls. One with my family and one with Michelle's family. I saw them. I talked to them. We connected, albeit differently than we usually do, but we did connect with our families, just like we had done on Thanksgiving our whole lives. Those connections yesterday were so important, especially with Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving recalls all the things that we need to be grateful for. And it pointed up how important family and friends are at times like these. That the one thing that we really need to throw out there as our gratefulness is other people. And this year with the pandemic, it shows up more than ever. Because as beautiful as it was to be with my family, you know, there is that pain inside that says we're not going to be getting together this year. But after we had those Zoom calls and we got off those calls and thought about the laughs that we had with our family and seeing everybody, and especially the little kids, the nieces and nephews that have grown in the time that we haven't seen them in these 8 or 9 months and haven't physically been with them, but we do notice the differences. We notice that someone got a haircut or someone is wearing new clothes or someone, you know, gained a couple pounds perhaps during COVID-19. We miss being with our families, and we miss being with our friends. And we miss not being able to celebrate those connections, because right now we celebrate the generations coming together. That's, for me, what Thanksgiving has always been. It's being with the kids and the parents and the grandparents and sometimes the great-grandparents and people coming together and everyone running around and screaming and talking and laughing and arguing and all that stuff that happens. It happened on the Zoom call as well. So we need to take a moment on this Friday night when we gather together as a loving community and we celebrate our families, our friends, and the many generations that keep us all together. Let's celebrate the real connections that I hope we made yesterday, even virtually, with those that we love, and remind ourselves that no matter where we are, no matter how we celebrate, let's remember not to say, oh, God was in this place and I didn't know it. Let us say, Emmanuel, God is with us through every single generation. So let's celebrate Lador Vador, Bruce, from generation to generation, through the best means that we have available to us, through music, through video, and through photos. So to show that we are, through this holiday season, really, not virtually, but really grateful.
For each day I live, my God, for each day I live, I am grateful, grateful, forever grateful, grateful each day I live. For each day I live, my God, for each day I live, I am grateful, grateful, forever grateful, grateful each day I live. I am gifted by your glory, I am lifted by your love, I am grateful, grateful, every day I live. I am grateful, grateful, every day I live. For each day I live, my God, for each day I live, I am grateful, grateful, forever grateful, grateful each day I live. For each day I live, my God, for each day I live, I am grateful, grateful, forever grateful, grateful each day I live. I am gifted by your glory, I am lifted by your love, I am grateful, grateful, every day I live. I am grateful, grateful, every day I live.
So as you see, lots of generations at this synagogue that come together to celebrate with each other. Now we turn to our final prayers. We begin with Aleinu. If you'd like to start writing the names of those people you're here to say Kaddish for, we will be saying Kaddish directly after Aleinu, and we can call out those names. עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו עליון, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו As we turn to Kaddish Yatom, this evening we especially remember those families who have lost loved ones in the last 30 days, who are observing Shloshim, families of Tess Gumbiner and Marshall Cole. We also recall those that have died at this season in years past. A list will come up on the screen, and we especially call out the names Morris and Sarah Sternlight, Sarah Weidig, and Robert Wharton.
Susan Friedman, Mike Hughes, Ian Hughes, Lee Wilson, Dr. Tiffany Margolin, Seymour Ginsburg, Ofer Dagan, Elizabeth Newman, Harav Alexander Ben Mordechai Udevora, Jeffrey Scott,
We add to those names everyone that doesn't have a person in this world to say Kaddish for them, all those that have lost in the Holocaust, those that have died from COVID-19, and those that have died from the violence of recent times. We join together and say Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'almad divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei b'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei olmaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, l'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mrumav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru.
Amen.
Amen. May the one who causes peace to reign on high make peace amongst all people on this planet. And we say,
Amen.
Amen. You have a couple announcements? What do we got?
Well,
We have some things happening,
we
right?
do. Let's see, 2 weeks from last night, 2 weeks from Thanksgiving Eve, is the first night of Hanukkah.
Oh, it's exciting.
It's so exciting. And Dan, maybe you can help us a little and bring up that Hanukkah, 8 Nights of Hanukkah advertisement. Dun, 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 dun. There. we
1, 2,
go.
3, 4, 5,
Every
6, 7.
single.
There's a candle missing on
No,
that.
it's in the front. It's like, oh. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Every single night at 6:15 p.m., join us. We will have a gathering on Zoom hosted by different people in our community.
Right.
The Friday night service, you will, come back to us and I'll explain. For the Friday night service, you will have the opportunity to join the Zoom, kind of like what we did with Animal Shabbat. Join the Zoom, light your candles. It'll also be broadcasting. You'll be on the silver screen. We got to come up with a new term for that. The silver screen to light the candles, and then we will have a really fun Hanukkah Shabbat debuting about 6 new music videos that we have filmed and are editing and really looking forward to debuting. There are lots of Hanukkah opportunities. We also have an ad for our YoPro Hanukkah event. There you go, YoPro, Lights and Laughter. And so please join us. That's on Thursday, December 10th at 6 p.m. What else do we have going on?
I think that's pretty good. And then, we don't know. We might be doing Havdalah tomorrow night. If it shows up, you'll get an announcement.
Exactly.
Right.
Don't hold your breath. No,
don't
I
hold
don't
your
know.
breath, but we might. It gets darker earlier. We were doing it a little bit later.
But we are definitely doing it 2 weeks from tonight
Yes.
for the Hanukkah Havdalah.
Right. For Hanukkah on that Saturday evening, we're going to do our little hybrid Havdalah, Hanukkah sing-along. We'll sing lots of Hanukkah songs, lots of, good old American songs. We take requests.
Yes, and I do want to say save the date. For last year, we had latkes in Lomain because Hanukkah was during Christmas, but we could still call it latkes in Lomain. But we're releasing our album of about, what did we say?
11 or 12.
11 or 12 songs that have been written over the last 5 years about. And we would love for you to join us for an intimate evening, learn the behind the scenes of how these songs were written.
What were we calling that?
We were calling it the
beforehand?
Emmanuel Sessions.
Emmanuel Sessions. So it's like, it'll be like, we have some videos for them, but the point is we want you to hear the recorded versions,
Yep.
which many of you actually, if you come on early and you listen to some of the music beforehand, you've heard some of them, the theme songs we've had for the last 4 years. But we want to, we're putting them out as a produced record, even though nobody makes records except for Miles. Miles is the only one I know who buys records nowadays.
Miles Platt, shout out to you. But thank you, Izzy, for greeting and for reminding us to remind everyone that next Friday night is Shabbat Unplugged.
Oh, yeah.
With Ava and Zach, so we will be back very socially distanced. And join us next Friday night, 6:15.
Yeah. I'd like to thank Daniel for making us at least sound good. He can't be responsible for the way we look. And Mel, thank you for making things clean.
Yes.
So when we came in here, it was very spotless. And to Robert for keeping us safe. And to all of you for joining us this evening. Hopefully we've all found a little peace after this crazy week, after this crazy month. What are we ending with?
Something very familiar to our community, but we just made the slide today because we've actually never done it.
Oh, what is that in
That's
there?
a peace dove.
Wow. That's intense.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. We can never stop asking for peace and more peace. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'hakulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'hakulam. Salam. Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam.
Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavod Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavod Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kulam.
Od Yavod Shalom Aleinu.
Od Yavod Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavod Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kulam.
May you feel blessed and safe. May you feel luminous and loved. May you feel joyous and whole.
Shabbat